Oop. Welcome to Top Deck City. My name is Grim, and what I have for you today is a Adventures in the Forgotten Realms pre-release pack. I didn't go to the pre-release. I'm kind of boycotting them just because I've had too many issues with people cheating at the pre-release near me. The main one, and that's the one you want to go to because there's like 70 plus people, but like dudes go to like midnight pre-releases and then show up with cards from that pre-release and mix it with their deck from this pre-release and just cheat their way to the top. And a couple guys have gotten caught, but you know, when there's like 70 plus people doing it, not that everyone's doing it, but when there's 70 plus people there, it's hard to catch everybody. And yeah, I just don't. I want to support my local LGS, but I don't want to lose to cheaters. So yes, that's just me being petty. Anyway, let's see what's inside this thing. I'm going to say that I was very excited initially when they announced this Forgotten Realms set. And then they started releasing the cards, and I started getting slowly less interested because it was very little things. Like, I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons since I was 11 years old. So that's over 30 years of playing playing D&D. And so I grew up with the Forgotten Realms characters. I grew up with Ari Salvador stuff. And so, I understand, like, I had my own opinion of what I thought the characters were based off of how they were presented in the novels. But they were, like, very little annoying things. Like, Brunar Battlehammer is a dwarven king. So at the very least, he should be a noble and also buff dwarves. He does neither. It's super annoying. I don't understand why Driss is Celestia colors. I feel that's very weird. He should at least have either blue or black in there. I understand he's like, he's the oddball, good guy, Dro, and I say Dro, not Drow, because Dro, grow, throw. That's a whole nother video. Anyway, let's crack this open. I don't want to get into the semantics of why I'm annoyed at this set, but let's see what my rare was. Oh, look, it's a piece of shit. Meteor Swarm. That sucks. Alright. Then we got Skeleton Token with the Lost Mines of Phandelver. Cool. Goblin with the Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Okay. And the Atropal Death Touch God Horror. That's neat. With Tomb of Annihilation. So this was kind of cool. I mean, this is god awful, but getting these in foil I think is pretty neat. So if you have the option to get a pre-release pack, I think it's worth it just to get these three tokens. I mean, they're probably going to be super cheap later on, but yeah, I like that. All right, and then you also get this Xanthar's Guide to Dungeons. It explains how the dungeons work. Yep. And then this cool little separator. And we got our packaroonies. Man, I cannot believe. Like, I have been really striking out with these. The promo that comes with these. This is so depressing. All right. I mean, there's not a lot of value in the set anyway, besides the dragons, in my opinion. Especially that green one that's absolutely busted and definitely did not need to get printed. I faced that on Arena a couple times, and I was like, all right, I'm over it. I'm over this game because of that stupid card. Also, Volo is absolutely busted. That card, I hope that card gets banned. That card's nuts. That card should cost 6 mana to cast, not 4. Anyway, Spiked Pit Trap, Earth Cult Elemental. All right, Yuan T Fangblade, Compelled Duelist, Half Elf Monk. Hey, she counts as a human and an elf. Very clever. Soul Knife Spy. I wonder if half-orcs count as humans and orcs. Let's see if we find one. Improvised Weaponry. Vampire Spawn. I'm not going to do the comments for the rest of the packs. I just want to look at the first couple. Hey, Knoll Hunter. I know there's a Knoll Legendary. I can build a Knoll Tribal deck with a bunch of Changelings. And Gruul. Arborea Pegasus. Alright, our first uncommon. Dungeon Map. 3 mana, tap to add 1 colorless, and pay 3, venture into the dungeon, activate only as a sorcery. 100% should have been instant speed to do that. Like, why? I mean, it's already 3 mana for a 1 mana rock. Why? And you're already paying 3 mana to do it. Why is it at sorcery speed? Druid class. This one's pretty cool. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, you gain a life. Pay 3. You may play an additional land on each of your turns, and pay 5. Whenever this class becomes level 3, target land you control becomes a creature with haste, and this creature's power or toughness are equal to the number of lands you control. It's still a land. I've played with this card in Arena a couple of times. I never pump it up to level 3 because I don't want my land to be targeted and killed. That should say this creature's power and toughness are equal to the number of lands you control. It's still a land and has indestructible. But whatever. Critical hit. 2 mana, instant. Target creature gains double strike until end of turn. When you roll a natural 20, return critical hit from your graveyard to your hand. That's pretty cool. Good flavor there. Orcas, Prince of the Undead. 4 mana X, Flying Trample. When Orcas, Prince of the Undead enters the battlefield, each other creature gets -X until end of turn. You lose life. You lose X life. And should also say, exile those creatures if they would die this turn, since Orcas' staff can obliterate matter, and it's like the only thing that can do that in D&D. Return up to X target creature cards with total mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. They gain haste until end turn. That's cool, because, like, you know, he is the god of undeath. But yeah, the -X, I think, was the flavor of them trying to use the Wand of Orcas, but in reality, that should exile. If the creature dies from this, they get exiled, period. Forest and Angel. So, I do like the fact that they made Orcas, though, because he was my favorite greater demon prince. Most people like Demogorgon. I'm an Orcas guy. Alright. Eyes of the Beholder. I love this card's flavor. I think it's ridiculously overcosted, but it's so cool. And the fact that it's instant is great. Yeah, target creature gets -11 until end of turn. This card also could have just said, exile target creature or planeswalker for 6 mana at instant speed, but I guess they've already done that a bunch of times, so they wanted to do something a little different. Alright, so yeah, Swarm of Goblins. I'm just going to skip ahead here. Alright. 50 feet of rope. The old standard. You always buy this with your first level character, because you never know when you're going to need 50 feet of rope. And you usually have to buy the hemp rope because you can't afford the silk rope. So 50 feet of rope is 1 mana artifact. It's got tap, or climb over. Tap, target wall can't block this turn. Tie up, pay 3 and tap. Target creature doesn't untap during your controller's next untap step. And repel down, pay 4 and tap. Venture into the dungeon. Activate only as a sorcery. I don't mind this one activating as a sorcery because it does take time to, you know, do the whole rope thing. But like the dungeon map, you're just looking at the map. I don't get that one. Chaos Channeler. So he's 4 mana for a 4/3, and he has, whenever Chaos Channeler attacks, roll a d20 on 1 through 9. Exile top card of your library. You may play it this turn. 10 through 19. Exile top 2 cards of your library. You may play them this turn. And exile the top 3 cards of your library. You may play them this turn. Very cool card. So whenever he attacks, it's pretty cool. I like this card. I think Shaman Tribal is definitely going to love it because it's going to be green and red anyway. So they're going to need all the card draw they can get. And we got, you happen on a glade. 3 mana, choose one. Journey on. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Reveal them, put them into your hand, and shuffle your library. That's good for 3 mana. I'm okay with that. And make camp. Return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Yep, also good with that. Instant speed. I like it. This is how I feel green ramp should be. And our rare is the Dragon Turtle. Dragon Turtle is 2 blue and 1 colorless. He's a 3/5 flash, and he has drag below, and he's also a dragon and a turtle, so he can go on my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle deck. When Dragon Turtle enters the battlefield, tap it, and up to 1 target creature an opponent controls. They don't untap during controller's next untap step. So I like this. This is a blue flash removal, and I prefer this kind of removal versus the blue removal that sends the crap back to your hand, because this isn't as annoying. When the blue stuff sends it back to your hand, it just slows the game down. This technically, you don't have to recast the thing. You know, I don't know. This is a better form of blue removal, in my opinion, from a fun perspective, not from an actual trying to win perspective. And a plains. All right. Pack number 3. All right. Oh, cool. I got a Mimic in the old D&D art style. The old Trapper Keeper books where you would. So the old D&D monsters manuals, they used to sell them as like a binder, and you can buy like the leaflets to put inside of it. They would come in different packs, and this is kind of how the art looked in that. So yeah, sacrifice him, add 1 mana of any color, and pay 2. He becomes a shapeshifter artifact creature token with base power, toughness 3/3 until end turn. Awesome card. So fun. And I love the fact. I wish he didn't sack himself to do that ability, the first ability, but I still play with it because I think he's neat. Grim Wanderer. I already like this guy because he's got Grim in his name. 2 mana for 5/3 Flash Goblin Warlock. Tragic backstory. Cast a spell only if a creature died this turn. It's pretty cool. Probably get played in standard or something like that. Modern, maybe. I don't know. Eccentric Apprentice. 3 mana for a 2/2 flying. When Eccentric Apprentice enters the battlefield, venture into a dungeon. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you completed the dungeon, up to 1 target creature becomes a bird with base power and toughness 1/1 and flying until end of turn. Yeah, I don't know about that ability. Plate Armor. Nice. 3 mana. Equip creature gets +3/+3 and has Ward 1. And equip 3. The ability cost is 1 less to activate for each other equipment you control. I think that would be like, this is just nitpicking, but I think that would have been cooler if it said this ability is 1 less to cast or activate for each other warrior you control. But that's just me. Because only warriors really wear plate mail, or warrior or cleric. Dancing Sword. 2 mana. Equipped creature gets +2/+1. When a equipped creature dies, you may have Dancing Sword become a 2/1 construct artifact creature token with flying and ward 1. If you do, it isn't an equipment, and it's 1 to equip. It's pretty neat. It's not. I don't think it's worth a rare slot, but. And I didn't get the Dancing Sword as my token, so that's annoying. Oh, maybe the card just turns into a 2/1. Not the, doesn't make a token. Alright. Let's see. Oh, Purple Worm. I actually have this miniature. That's 5, 6, 7. 7 mana for an 8/7. The spell costs 2 less to cast if a creature died this turn, and it's got Ward 2. Yeah, Purple Worms are pretty tough. Blue Dragon. Nice. 7 mana for flying, 5/5 Lightning Breath. When Blue Dragon enters the battlefield until your next turn, target creature. I hate this representation of lightning where they get -3. Why? Like, blue can do damage? Like, that would be neat. Like, if blue does a little bit of damage to stuff. I don't know. This card sucks. Alright. Hama Pashar, Ruin Seeker. 3 mana for a 2/3 human wizard. Room abilities of dungeons you own trigger an additional time. This card is busted in Brawl because in 1v1 it's silly. I don't see her being busted in Commander, though. I think she'll probably be pretty fun. The Black Staff of Waterdeep. 1 mana for a legendary artifact. You may choose not to untap the Black Staff of Waterdeep during your untap step. Animate Walking Staff. 2 mana, another target non-token artifact you control becomes a 4/4 artifact creature for as long as the Black Staff of Waterdeep remains tapped. Activate only as a sorcery. Ugh. Oh, I got a foil land. It's cool. Den of the Bugbear. And it's rare. If you control 2 or more other lands, Den of the Bugbear enters the battlefield tapped. Tap to add 1 red. And pay 4 until the end of turn. Den of the Bugbear becomes a 3/2 red goblin creature token with whenever this creature attacks, create a 1/1 red goblin creature token tapped, and attacking, it's still a land. I think that's cool. I like these rare lands that aren't valuable, but like they're cool because you can just throw them in your mono red deck or mono white deck if you've got the white one. And I got Tomb of Annihilation in regular. Alright, on to the last 2. Haven't hit anything good, really. I mean, Orcas is cool, I guess. I'll probably do something with him, but if I ever play Commander again, it's been months. Alright. Owlbear. Great. Like, I love the generic monsters they included in this set. They're so cool. Alright. Dungeon Crawler. He's a Zambi. Enters the battlefield tapped, and whenever you complete a dungeon, you may return Dungeon Crawler from your graveyard to your hand. Seems okay. Wizard class. You have the maximum hand size. When this class becomes level 2, draw 2 cards. Whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. I don't know what that has to do with wizards. Wizards blow shit up. I don't get that one at all. But whatever. Burning Hands. Now, I have a beef with this card, and we'll get into that in a second. Burning Hands deals 2 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If that permanent is green, Burning Hands deals 6 damage instead. So, anyone who's ever played Dungeons & Dragons knows that you never, ever use Burning Hands to hit one target. That's what Magic Missile's for. Magic Missile's a guaranteed hit on one target, and even if you get multiple missiles, you send them all to one guy, just to guarantee he takes the damage. Because you can't, there's no save, you just take it. Burning Hands comes out as a cone. So if you put your hands out like this, you know, whatever is in that cone range, that's what your dude, like, hits. Or, you know, your wizard or sorcerer, whoever casts it. So, Burning Hands, this should say, instant speed. Burning Hands deals 3 damage divided how you choose among any number of target creatures or planeswalkers. Boof. End of story. Just 2 mana, 3 damage, you could split it up amongst 3 targets. But they botched that really bad. It's almost like they've never played Dungeons and Dragons and just read the spell from the book. And so, yeah, if I pull a Magic Missile, did I pull a Magic Missile? I gotta go back and look. And I'll talk about how they fucked that card up, too. Oh! That's pretty sweet. Yeah. Looks like my angry rant won me a pretty cool card. Alright, so I got this full art Tiamat. She is the dragon god. She used to live on the first tier of hell, but now I don't think she lives there anymore. I think they errated that. She was considered a devil back in the day. So she is flying. When Tiamat enters the battlefield, if you cast it, search your library for up to 5 dragon cards not named Tiamat, and each have different names. Reveal them and put them into your hand, then shuffle. Absolutely awesome. What a busted commander. And she's also, you know, 7/7 herself. Yeah, this is great. Nothing but good things to say about this card. We'll see how it does. I mean, it's definitely. I think this thing's better than the Ur-Dragon. Just refilling your hand is nuts. All right, and a Forest and Lost Mines of Phandelver with a skeleton on the back. So that was a pretty awesome pull. Not going to complain about that one bit. All right, let me just look through this and see if I got a Magic Missile so I can complain about it. Oh, so Shocking Grasp, that's another annoying one. Like, why does this draw a card? That makes no sense. Why is it blue? I understand wizards are blue, but it doesn't do anything Shocking Grasp related. Ugh. Plundering Barbarian, Evolving Wilds, that's cool. This guy is awesome. This Common Dwarf, 3 mana, 2/1 cantrip. When he enters the battlefield, you gain a life and draw a card. How great is this? They need more white cards like this. This is good white card draw. This is exactly what you want your white cards to do, because you're constantly putting out your little baby, and he doesn't do anything, and then you draw into a land, and then you're screwed. Well, this guy, you know, replaces himself. Direwolf Prowler. Look at that art. That's fun. 3 mana for a 2/2. 2 mana Direwolf Prowler gets +2/+2 and gains haste until end of turn. Activate only once each turn. Oh, those were just commons. Alright, you meet at the tavern. 4 mana sorcery. Choose one. Form a party. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You can reveal any number of feature cards from among them and put them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Start a brawl. Creatures you control get +2/+2 until end of turn. So, the second ability is fine. First ability really should have said, search your library for a wizard, warrior, cleric, and rogue, and reveal them and put them into your hand. And this maybe should have cost 6 mana. Like, it's the party. Like, it's got the word form a party. And we know what a party is in Magic. It's a wizard, warrior, cleric, and rogue. How do you botch that? Guild Thief, 2 mana, 1/1. When Guild Thief enters the battlefield, deal damage to a player. Wait, no, I read this card completely wrong. I thought it was when it enters the battlefield. Whenever Guild Thief deals combat damage to a player, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Guild Thief can't be blocked this turn. So 2 mana for 1/1 Orc Rogue. That's cool. Orcs branching into blue. Dragon Disciple, 2 mana Human Monk. As Dragon Disciple enters the battlefield, you may reveal a dragon card from your hand. If you do, or if you control a dragon, Dragon Disciple enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. Dragons you control have Ward 1, so I guess he goes into the Tiamat deck, right? Oh, it's a Hobgoblin Bandit Lord, and he looks awesome. 3 mana for a 2/3 Goblin Rogue. Other goblins you control get +1/+1. Pay 1 red, and Hobgoblin Bandit Lord deals damage equal to the number of goblins that enter the battlefield under your control this turn to any target. That's cool. I like it. To any target. And an island. And a nothing. Alright, I'm going to backtrack here. I just want to go through these real quick and see if I got a magic missile. I don't know what it does off the top of my head, and so I want to complain about it. Because it was just not... It wasn't even instant. I think it was like a sorcery. Oh, man. I probably didn't get it. No. No. Alright, well, didn't get the magic missile. Anyway, so yeah. It's I don't know. It's an underwhelming set, if I'm being completely honest. But I also don't mind that, just because it's not canon to Magic. It's kind of like a, I don't know, it's like an unset that's real. That's the best way I can describe it, and that's okay. I'm okay with the set. It's not the dumpster fire that Strixhaven was. So, at least I don't know. At least there's some neat stuff in here. There's a lot of stuff I'm salty about just because it's not the way I would have done it, being someone who plays Dungeons and Dragons, and has played every edition of Dungeons and Dragons. So I don't know. Anyway, that's all I got for now. I do have one of these. I might crack open at some point. I might not. I'm not really super impressed about it. The one thing I do want to do though is I got a hold of this recently, which is the book for the Mythic Odyssey of Theros. So I kind of want to go back and look at those Theros miniatures that I got and go through this book and create the characters on camera for the site and see what happens. But we'll see what happens. All right, well, thanks for watching.